getting more reckless by the second, and what exactly can't be said? Is it the part where we worked through every position in the book, or the part where we tested out every scenario we could think of, that the veins on the back of Gu Qingqing's hand bulged? Like she wanted to wring my neck right there on the spot, but in the end, she let go of me with pure disgust, walked out to the balcony, and irritably lit up a cigarette. I slouched back against the sofa, watching her back with cold indifference. So Lu Tianquan really mattered to her. Otherwise, why would she wire me the money 1 minute and then come sprinting over to shut me up the next? Just then, a soft ding. My backup girl Shenman sent a WeChat asking me out for late night food. I replied yes immediately, then walked over to the balcony as well. All right, Ms. Gu, the door's over there. Don't let it hit you on the way out, since we're completely square between us. Who you marry has nothing to do with me. I've got somewhere to be. No time to babysit you at that. She stopped dead, turned and stared at me with a look laced with contempt. Already got a replacement lined up. Yep. I laughed hard enough my shoulders shook. A rich girl younger than you. By at least 10 years, nothing but energy and youth. At that, she took 2 hard drags and ground the cigarette out against the ashtray. Right then, the fire burning behind her eyes looked like it could eat me alive. I acted like I didn't notice. Then right in front of her, I pressed the voice message button and let my voice go deliberately low and smooth. Wherever you want, babe, that jazz bar we went to. Last time was perfect. I hadn't even finished sending the voice note when a hand shot out and snatched my phone. And like she was tossing out trash, she hurled my phone straight into the garbage can across the room. I exploded. What is actually wrong with you? I was furious and lunged to go grab my phone. But before I could take a single step, she yanked my arm back. And the next thing I knew, I was flat on the couch. I don't know how much time passed. But when things finally went still, I was a mess. Collapsed on the couch, feeling like every bone in my body had come loose. My brain had gone completely numb while Gu Qingqing had already pulled her dress back down. Moving through the aftermath with a brief, unhurried ease, taking her time getting dressed. Honestly, watching that incredible figure of hers for just a moment, I felt something stir inside me, but the second she turned and our eyes met, the warmth in them hit absolute zero. I have said everything I came to say tonight. Don't let me see you at the Liu house again. She dropped that ice-cold warning, snatched up her car keys and headed for the door. I had long since stopped being surprised by her hot and cold routine. Done and gone without a second look, but the moment her hand touched the door handle, I heard myself say something I hadn't planned to Miss Gu. Did you forget to settle the bill at that? She stopped cold. I gave a half smile and said it like pure business. Last month's tab was cleared, but tonight is a separate transaction. She closed her eyes briefly with thinly veiled contempt, then pulled out her phone and had me remove her from my block list. A notification dinged, a transfer came through, and when I looked at the number on the screen, my expression went stone cold. $500. That is exactly what you are worth to me, she said without blinking. Landing that brutally calculated insult fine. I smiled back, cold and sharp. Can't back down now. I pulled up the dialer right then and there. In that case, I'm calling the cops. I'll tell them there's an illegal transaction happening at this address. We can both sit in a cell for the next couple weeks. I'm not doing anything anyway. It's just that your wedding with your fiancé might have to be pushed back a little. With that, I pressed the call button, dead serious, right in front of her. She stared at me like I had completely lost my mind. Absolutely at a loss for words, she forced the words out through clenched teeth. You really love money that much rather than loving you. I shot back without missing a beat. That one landed like a match to a fuse. She yanked irritably at her skirt, done wasting words on me. Her fingers flew across her phone without even looking up, and transferred another 10 million directly. Take the money and get as far away from me as possible. This 10 million buys your silence about everything between us. Bury it and keep it buried. She slammed the door behind her on her way out. The living room went dead quiet. I stared at that long string of digits on the screen and felt not a shred of excitement. Just a dull heaviness in my chest. She was willing to throw 10 million at me to buy my silence. But everything she had, her name, her future, was going to another man for a picture-perfect wedding. I opened the drawer and pulled out a cigarette. Took a long, slow drag and exhaled a ring of smoke. And somewhere inside that haze, that cheap, hollow feeling finally drifted away. In the days that followed, I had zero time to dwell on any of it. As the owner of a high-end pet clinic chain, I spent my days keeping the prized cats and dogs of the city's wealthiest clients alive and healthy, on top of scouting locations for new branches, until one morning my girl Shenman sent a message asking me to head out to the outskirts. She said she had just picked up a new high-end mountain bike and wanted to take it for a spin. I was itching to ride, so I said yes without hesitation. I threw on my full riding gear, punched the gas, and blasted out to the forest park in half an hour. Barely had the car door open when a bright, clear voice called out my name from behind. I turned around. She was tall and sharp-looking, effortlessly cool in her athletic gear, rolling a brand new mountain bike toward me. Shenman, 24. MIT master's student and a top-tier trust fund kid, also my extreme sports partner who I met 6 months ago doing paragliding, even though we didn't keep in close touch. This was our first time hanging out, just the two of us. I got this one just for you. Shenman grinned and rolled a mountain bike right up to me, clearly proud of herself. I took a look and felt my stomach drop slightly. Top-tier brakes, electronic shifting, impact resistance off the charts. No way this bike cost less than $100,000. Then Shenman pointed to the blue one beside it. That one's mine, they're a matching set. Matching set, I just laughed politely and let it go. We were about to head out when she suddenly stepped in front of me. Eyes lit up with barely contained intensity. Before we go, I need to ask you something. Do you have a girlfriend at that? I paused for a beat, laughed openly and said, no, always been single. She visibly exhaled with relief. Perfect, let's go then. Today I'm introducing you to downhill mountain biking. Now that is real extreme sports. There's an old saying in the scene, come back covered in dirt, or come back in a box. I had been riding since I was 17. Broke bones more than once before I got good enough to pull it off. At the top of the trail, full gear on, I pushed off and dropped straight into the descent. The forest path was steep and barely wide enough for a dog to run without getting clipped, but I moved through it like it was flat ground, speed ripping. I threw the bike into corner after corner, mountain wind screaming past my ears, and all that pent-up weight from the past few days shattered in the rush. The most dangerous stretch had a sheer cliff drop on one side. The adrenaline hit like a freight train straight through my chest. I finished it off with a clean flip and stuck the landing at the bottom. By the time I finally braked at the finish line, I was drenched in sweat. Shenman hadn't taken her eyes off me. You're an absolute legend, I'm riding with you from now on, she said. handing me a bottle of water with total confidence. "From now on, all your gear is on me." I burst out laughing. "You are such a spoiled little rich girl." She didn't respond, just stared at my flushed, sweat-soaked face like she had forgotten where she was. That gaze was intense enough to make me uncomfortable to break the tension. I suggested we do a couple more runs, but Shenman clearly had other plans. She said right away, "I have a villa. Just nearby it has a pool, come swim it off. Nothing beats jumping into cold water after sweating it out in the summer heat." I didn't think twice and nodded. We rode out onto the road, chasing each other all the way, practically sparking off the asphalt. Soon a sleek, ultra-modern hilltop estate came into view. "You actually live here?" I panted, asking her. Shenman beamed. "This is my aunt's private place." At that I squeezed the brakes hard. Something tightened in my chest. Isn't it a little off to bring a stranger to your aunt's house? What if she minds? She's only like 10 years older than me. We're basically like sisters. Shenman waved her hand, telling me to relax. Besides, she's single, slammed with work around the clock. Basically sleeps at the office, hardly ever home. If the owner wasn't around, I stopped hesitating. It was a standalone hilltop estate with a sweeping stretch of lush green golf course behind it. But what I had no way of knowing was that right at that moment, the so-called aunt was sitting behind a window watching me intently. Dozens of limited edition luxury cars lined up in a row, heavy security presence. Immaculate landscaping. I was quietly stunned. Just whose world-class domain is this, right? Then Shenman pulled off her helmet and casually told the housekeeper, Ms. Jin Yi, to bring out a few pairs of new men's swim trunks for me to pick from. I changed in the guest room into a pair of competition-cut swim trunks that left very little to the imagination. And the moment I pushed the door open, Shenman's eyes went straight and locked. I ignored her stare and launched myself into the massive infinity pool. We went wild in the water fights, breath-holding contests. After a while, I kicked Shenman away, turned and dove down to the 2-meter mark. Held my breath for a solid 2 minutes straight, and when I broke the surface, gasping for air and looked up, there was a stunning woman standing at the edge of the pool.